Hey guys, only a few more days left for me to leave the island. But just I want to show you guys the rain that pretty much is a rainy season, guys. Every day is raining. But I really love it, man. The view from my hotel is just fantastic. Even when it's rain, it's beautiful. But the funny part, guys, you see now it's raining. A little bit heavy. So pretty much probably after 10 minutes it's gonna stop. Stop and like people are gonna go and do whatever they wanna do. So it just takes about 10-15 minutes. Guys, what do you think about my haircut? I guess I got the good haircut today. So the haircut price was $4, guys. Can you believe it? $4. Four. It's just like I don't know. Like 3 years ago, when I was in Toronto, I was paying roughly $40, 40, and it was a really expensive place. It's just a place that I used to go for like over 25 years, and it was a Turkish guy. So it was just a normal barber shop, but I got used to that guy because I was just sitting in the chair and he knew what he has to do. So he was a really experienced barber. Like he was like 60 years old man and he was doing this for over 50 years, like 45 years or whatever. So he was really experienced. So like, and his barber shop, it wasn't a like expensive place. So like I was paying $40, 40. Imagine now. Now probably after 3 years, I'm gonna go and check it out. Probably now it's like $50, maybe more. But like I got the beautiful haircut. You see, guys, $4. Can you believe this? Well, I really recommend anybody that if you come in to visit Vietnam, come and stay in Phu Quoc. It is a beautiful island, but again, depends on your personality. I said this before. If you're looking for somewhere busy, a lot of people, a lot of bar, a lot of activities, a lot of this and a lot of that, no, this is not the island for you. This is a quiet island, but it's very well developed, extremely nicely developed. Everything is just accessible. Again, I repeat, free bus that you can travel from north to south, airport to south, north, whatever. And if you want to rent the bike is all over the place. You won't go through too much traffic like Bali or Thailand, no, or anywhere else in Vietnam. Hanoi or Ho Chi Minh City or anywhere else. It's just traffic is nuts. Here, no, guys, there's no traffic. And there's a lot of things that you can do, a lot of things. So if you are one of those individuals that looking for peaceful, nice island with the beautiful beaches and really reasonable price on all aspects, food, haircut, like everything, guys, shopping, you name it, you can do it here, guys. I strongly recommend you to come to Phu Quoc. And you know me by now. If you watching my video, I don't sugarcoat anything. And my personality, I'm like not easy to please in so many aspects. But one thing that I gotta tell you guys, in Vietnam, it's just not like Thailand. In Thailand, everybody is smiling. I'm not saying maybe it's not genuine smile. Maybe, it's just a fake smile that, for some reason. But unfortunately, Vietnam did not use to tourism too much yet. So don't don't think it's just like you're gonna go and walk around in the restaurant or haircut or anywhere else, get the same treatment that you're getting in Thailand, for example. Because in Thailand, people are very open to tourism. Because now, if you travel anywhere in Thailand, you see a lot of tourists, even in Isan. So the people getting like, they got used to tourism. They got used to deal with different type of people, you know. But here, not much. So you won't get too much smile or whatever. For example, today I got the haircut. I'm not saying the guy was very nice guy. I'm not questioning anything. Even he hold the door for me when I was exiting. And obviously I tipped the guy too, you know, because it's just, for them, it's just a lot of money. But I tipped the guy only $1. So $4 haircut, $1 tip, you know, 80,000 plus 20,000 tip. So all cost me $5, give and take. But the thing is, I'm not saying the guy wasn't a bad guy. He was a nice guy. But it's just like, especially if you're coming from Western countries, that, you know, you go to the barber asks you 10 times, you know, like if you're satisfied, if everything is good, you know, you won't see those things here. Even, for example, in the restaurant. Yeah, the pizza store that I'm going, always there's a guy that comes in, and he's always there, and he always asks me how was my pizza. So I believe they're a little bit shy, you know, like I guess they're not used to, you know, deal with a lot of tourism, especially in this island or anywhere that is small and slowly more tourism coming. I guess they are shy. They're not rude. They're just shy. Like you're thinking, okay, why? For example, the barber not asking me if I'm like, if everything is okay. But I guess that's part of that, because they cannot communicate. So I believe they are shy to ask. That doesn't mean, and obviously they're not open yet, you know, like Thailand, because in Thailand, even if they don't speak 2 words English, they start communicating with you, you know, like they don't care. They are like, they have this smile in their face, and somehow you building that conversation, even if they don't understand you and you don't understand them. But because they got open to concept of a lot of tourism in their country, so they are very open, you know. But I guess here slowly they're going through this, so that doesn't mean they are rude or anything. Just I believe a little bit shyness, that, you know, they are a little bit shy to come and ask you that because of the language barrier or stuff like that. So that's normal. Pretty much that's normal. Like when I moved to Canada, you know, I didn't speak 2 words English, and I was very shy to communicate with anybody. So that comes always with, you know, language problem. You know, like you're thinking, okay, if I talk to somebody's not gonna understand me. So I guess that's the problem here, that sometimes you feel, you know, like you're not welcome. But no, that's not the issue. I really think about it deeply, and I think that's not the issue. You're welcome, but it's just like they're not used to too many tourists. That's why they are a little bit shy. Anyways, guys, so if you're living in Canada, US, oh, guys, first of all, I want to thank some, like, when I'm checking my YouTube channel, the first visitors to my channel is from United States. Thank you, guys. Thank you, US. We used to call US Big Brothers, but since now Big Brother a little bit giving it to Canada, you know, I don't know what to call you guys, but I love you guys, you know, like seriously. Now the toughest country that visit my channel is US, and it's just like much more than anybody else. So thank you, US. Still, you are my big brother. But don't mess around with Canada, you know, like where this bullshit came along, you know, like now Canada and US, they have an issue, because this was never happening between us. So I hope this can be fixed, because seriously, like in one point, I was just driving all the time to New York for pizza. Like seriously, like You go to the border, they don't even ask you once you go a lot. They don't even, because they get, your plate number. So they never even ask me for my passport, like, how long are you going to stay? 2 days, sir. 3 days, sir. Okay, no problem. Boom. Like, no question asked. Because I used to drive to New York City all the time. Or I was going and visiting one of my best friends in Boston. So he's originally from Iran too, but he left 4 or 5 years before than me. So I believe he went to US in age of 11, I guess. Now he's a doctor, and the wife is from US. So now they have 2 kids, and I used to go and visit him a lot too. And we find each other after like 25 years. So, and yeah, I used to go and visit him sometimes too, and I used to drive to New York for pizza, but we never had any issue between Canada and US because, like, seriously, and let me tell you guys something, because you guys watching from US, I was in real estate business, so I had few properties. Sometimes I was buying a property and I was flipping them, renovating and selling them. So in one point I had a really nice townhouse. Location was good, but it was an old townhouse, and I bought it to renovate. So, and it was the time that, the financial situation in US. It was, I believe, 2008. So, and because I didn't know how the price is gonna, like what's gonna happen with the price and the market and everything else, so I didn't renovate, because usually when I was buying this property, I used to do the renovation right away and put them in the market. So in that time, I thought to myself, okay, let's wait and see what is going on with the market, because real estate market in US was going down, and Canada, it was really quiet for like 3-4 months. In Canada, we had only 3-4 months issue, not too long. But obviously, because US and Canada economy is so connected to each other, so it was affecting in Canada, and nobody was doing anything, not buying, selling, or whatever. So what happened was, I put this townhouse. It was a little bit rough shape, but fantastic location. Rough shape means I bought it from somebody that was renting it for like 10 years to different type of people, and the guy was Chinese, and he didn't do anything. He was just renting from one individual to next individual. He didn't paint it, he didn't maintain anything, nothing. So I thought to myself, because I bought it at a very good price, I thought to myself, okay, I'm going to renovate it and put it back in the market, because I was spending really good money, making it really beautiful. Obviously, I was just looking for best possible option in terms of location. To me, it was 3 things: location, location, location. So I knew what to do with this property, because I was spending top-notch money to renovate them, but I was getting top-notch money too, because I was doing a fantastic job in renovation. I wasn't doing any shortcut. So anyways, long story short, so I said to myself, okay, I'm not going to do anything. Let's wait. Let's see how the market is going to go, because I thought, okay, if I'm going to spend 200 grand or 150 or whatever, that I'm going to put it on the renovation. So if I don't get that money back, so that's a really disaster. And I'm not the, multi-billionaire. Like, I was just buying one property and renovating and flipping them and making some money. So, and even if I had to lose like 10,000, it was 10,000 for me. So what happened was, I got the phone call from one man that he transferred from. He had a really high position in US, but because a lot of people lost their job and everything, and his company transferred him to Canada to work. So they didn't want to get rid of him, but they had to transfer him to Canada. But I find out when they transferred the guy to Canada, something happened. Either he didn't accept the new job position, or they got rid of him in Canada, because the guy moved to Canada with 3 kids, He was from US. Wife was Mexican, but Mexican that, pretty much I believe she born and raised in US, and they had 3 kids. So I was making it very easy for them because obviously a lot of people opened the door to people from US, from America, in Canada. Everybody opened the door. Everybody was trying to help. So I was making it very easy for him because he was telling me like, okay, well, like you couldn't do a lot of things like credit check on him or whatever, like, and he didn't have really solid employment letter or anything, no pay stubs, no nothing. Like I couldn't verify anything from this guy except whatever that he was telling me. And I was trying to help because usually I wasn't renting the property to anybody like this. Usually credit check and employment letter, and usually you have to verify everything, but he didn't have nothing to verify pretty much. And I was making it easy for him because he was really desperate. He was living in rental apartment and then short rental, and then he was telling me the company paying for it, and then in one point he said company stopped paying for it, now I have to pay for it. He was telling me a lot of things. And what happened was I was just trying to make it very easy for him because I thought, okay, these people are in trouble in US, because that was the mentality in Canada, US is our big brother and we need to help. And everybody was doing it, including myself, I didn't do a lot of things, but this is come across my life, So I was making it very easy for him, especially the wife was a really sweet lady, and they had 3 small kids back to back. I believe it was like 3, 5, 7, like one of those family that they want to have a kid back to back. And she was crying, we have a good life, and this has happened to his life. Now I don't know what to do, how to raise my kids. My kids is confused, this and that. It was a tough time. I really remember it was a tough time. So what happened was I told him, like, because I couldn't verify really nothing. And he knew that because he was a very educated man. He was telling me like, and in one point, I find it, the job letter that he has, job offer, sorry, not the job letter, job offer, something happened, and either the company was getting rid of him or he was asking too much than whatever they're willing to offer him. So something happened. So basically he was on his own. He was pretty much trying to find a job in Canada, and he was lying to me pretty much. He was lying to me, and I got that, because like when you are in real estate business like for so many years, like who's lying to you, who's not, and what should I check or not, because that was my life. I didn't do nothing else except real estate, buying, selling, renting, working for different companies. It's just like that was my life. So, and I told him, I said pretty much like, let's just talk man to man, because he was just keep calling me and say, what happened? I said, well, you know it, I know it, you are a very educated man, and I know you're desperate. I know what happened there, because he was telling me I lost everything, this and that. So I was going to so many details, especially the wife was crying. I don't know, something it was behind that, something it was extra that I didn't know, but I wasn't going to their personal life. But the only things that I was really worried if he can pay. So, because it was like 3-bedroom townhouse, it wasn't cheap townhouse. Like I remember that time I was listed for 2,700 Canadian. So it wasn't cheap because it was a good location. So, and although even if I could, if it was renovated, I could have rented for 3,500 that time. So, but because it wasn't really nicely, like it was in bad, rough shape, so I just listed for 2,700. So I thought, if I can get any tenant, even that time you couldn't even find a tenant. So anyways, but I wasn't really desperate to rent it to anybody. I couldn't afford to, keep it for 6 months. So anyways, I said to him, I one time he was just keep calling me. I said, so let's talk to man, like, I know something happened. So basically, this job offer is it's just not real. Uh, I didn't know if this job letter even job offer was fake. He just print something. I said I know, like I just don't want to go to the details of what I find so far, but I believe at the moment you don't have a job. So and this job offer is pretty much, I guess, is dead. So he said, yeah, there is something happened, yada, yada, yada. I'm executive, I can't find another job. I said, okay, perfect. But what kind of security you can give me? Because I cannot verify anything from you. Like, you could be bankrupt in the United States, and I don't know. You could be anything, but I don't know pretty much. I cannot find too much things. So just what kind of security you can give me? He said, well, I can give you a few months up front. I said, okay, no problem. And I said, okay. And usually I'm really detail oriented, because if the tenant comes to your house in Canada and if they don't pay, good luck with kicking them out. Takes about like 2-3 years. That time it wasn't that bad. Now is like after COVID, some cases it was like 3-4 years, people not paying rent, and people cannot kick them out because it was a lot of court like a lot of people was going through court, so it was a delay on everything. But that time, even that time, it was like taking 6 months to 1 year to kick somebody out. So it's very dangerous in Canada. I don't know anywhere else law or whatever, but in Canada to kick the tenant out, it just takes forever. So anyways, I took the chance because I would just felt bad for that man, because the wife and 3 kids and everything. I would just try and help, because that was the mentality of all Canadian, like we have to help our big brother. So yeah, and did it. So the whole point that this conversation came along, because like always, U.S. and Canada had a fantastic relationship. So I don't know what happened for past few months. But thank you for everybody that watching my video from US, because you guys the number one. You guys the highest number of people that watching my video, and I'm so surprised because Canada is like number 10 or 12. This is the country that I spent more than 30 years of my life, and US that I never spent more than 2-3 weeks, just going for a pizza and coming back. People watching my video more than anybody else. So thank you, US. We're still brother. And remember, I helped one of you guys in a bad time. Anyways, let me explain. Let me finish this guy. So, and then I said, okay. He said, okay, I can give you a few months. I said, okay, no problem. Give me a few months up front, and then it's okay. I don't need anything else. So I hope you can, get the job and put your life back together. He said, okay, no problem. So everything's done, and the contract, it was 1 year. After 6 months, he gave me a call. He said, I want to go back to US. I don't know. I got the job back there, and my company calling me back, and yada, yada, yada. Usually, you don't break the contract, middle of rental contract, first year. So there's a lot of penalty and everything else. But I said, okay, no problem. Like, whatever, anywhere, anytime, any month you want to leave, no problem. And he said, okay. So I help him a lot, pretty much, because usually nobody does that. Like, first year contract is a first year, so you cannot move out. After first year goes to month-to-month basis. So month-to-month basis means you have to give 2 months notice to the landlord, 2 months notice to the landlord, and move out. For example, after 1 year, you don't need to sign the contract based on 1 year. It just goes month-to-month basis. So for example, after 1 year, you can stay for 14 months and give your landlord 2 months notice, and on the 16th month, you can go out. But I made it very easy. So he couldn't do that. I couldn't go after him. He was desperate, and I knew more than 5 lawyers that they can write the letter for me for like $200. And, he was screwed pretty much. But, I didn't do it. I said, okay, no problem. Like, you got the job, you're going back home, perfect. Go ahead, and no worries. Anytime you want to go, go. And it was like 6 months. Yeah, what I'm trying to say, always it was a special relationship between US and Canada, and I hope that continues because that's so stupid. Like, if one day if I go back to Canada and live in Canada, I don't know if that's gonna happen or not because I got used to life in Southeast Asia. I want to again drive easily to the United States. I don't want to go through nightmare. you know, like so I hope that happens. Anyways, guys, so the rain is stopped, but it's just lovely here, guys. You see that? It just rains for like 10, 15, 20 minutes and it stops. So it's not one of those rain that, puts you in your room all day long, like you cannot move. No, it is not like that, guys. 10, 15, 20 minutes, boom, done and finish. So you can go do whatever you want to do. Okay, guys, this talk, a rainy day talk, is just almost 26 minutes. So this is whole video for itself. So thank you for watching, guys. Especially thanks to United States because you guys watching more than anybody else my channel. So thank you, guys. Keep watching. And I hope one day the relationship between Canadian and US goes back to the same thing that was few months ago. Cheers, guys, and see you guys soon. Bye-bye.